A scatterplot or a scatter diagram is a plot of paired XY quantitative data with a horizontal x-axis and a vertical y-axis. The horizontal axis is used for the first variable x, and the vertical axis is used for the second variable y. When working with paired data, you can do a variety of things with it, one of which is graphing it. Graphing paired data can help us notice any patterns that may exist where the raw data itself can be hard to see such patterns, especially if the numbers or the values are given to you in a random order. The TI-8384 graphing calculator can make the graphing of paired data quick and easy, so you can figure out if such patterns may or may not exist. So why bother trying to figure it out just by looking at it? Let the technology, do the work for you. So let's look at the first set of data. We have x going from 1 to 10, and we have y being a variety of numbers here. So the numbers don't have to be in any particular order, but they do need to be paired. 1 is paired with 3.1, 2 is paired with 5.0. So however the numbers are given to you is how the numbers should be inputted into the calculator. Do not just sort them or put them in some random order. As it's given to you is how you should put it in. So let's put it into the calculator. So here's my calculator, all set up and nice. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Stat, and I'm going to go to Edit 1 for the list, and I'm going to put my numbers in the list, which I've already done ahead of time just for the ease of it. So again, as they are given to me is how I am putting it into the calculator all the way down to 10 and 21. Once it's there, we're going to graph it by doing these steps. We're going to go to second and y equals. We're going to do the stat plot, and my stat plot is turned off, so I'm going to put it into the on position. So once I turn it on, it's on for good unless I turn it off or reset my calculator. For type, I'm going to make sure it's under the scatter plot, these dots here. You could put like histogram, box and whisker plots and whatnot, but we want the scatter plot. X list should be L1, Y list should be L2. That should automatically default to it, but if it's not, you can just change it to the list that is necessary. And then you can change the mark to whatever you want. I'm just going to leave it here because I think that's as good as any. Once you have everything set up here, you're going to press you're just going to press zoom, not second, just zoom. And we're going to go down to zoom stat. Once we press zoom stat, it's going to adjust the window to put all the values on there in a nice, easy way that we don't have to actually figure out how to. It's going to do it for us. So hit enter, and there is our data, and we can see what pattern it is. We can see that this is, if not exactly, pretty darn close to a straight line pattern going up. So what is the pattern we can glean from it? That as x increases, y increases the same rate. It's very consistent the entire way. So we can see that there's like a straight line pattern for this data. So that's not too bad. Now what about this data? Is there a pattern to it? Well, I have no idea just by looking at it. But what I can do is put it into my list. So I'm going to go to Stat, one edit, and I see I have my numbers here, but I'm going to get rid of them easily by just scrolling up to the list here and hit clear. And then scroll down, and the list is now completely blank. And then I'm going to do the same thing again. There we go. And now I'm going to type in my numbers, x for L1, -2. Make sure you use the negative here because that's negative. Putting this button here, that's the minus sign, the calculator will get confused and call it an error. So be careful between minus and negative. So -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, and a 5. Almost missed one. And now we're going to go to L2, and it's going to be a 9.1. It's going to be a 4, a 1.2, a 0.9, a 1.1, a 4.2, a 9, and a 16.1. So all my values are in here. I don't have to go back to second y equals for the stat plot. Everything should stay as it was before. You can always double check it to make sure, but there's no real need to. But you do need to go back to zoom and go down to zoom stat because the window is going to change just a little bit. So again, I'm going to check my window or change my window for zoom stat, and I see now my window has changed, and I see here are my values, and I can see that this has a pattern. It's not a line, but it has a curve to it. It's a very kind of parabolic curve, a quadratic curve. So that's the pattern I see. It kind of goes down to a low point and then kind of goes back up. So just from the data given to me, I can see a kind of a quadratic or parabola-like curve to it. And let's do one more here. I'm going to go back to stat, go back to edit, and I'm going to clear everything out and put in my new list. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then put in my new numbers here, 7.3. And just by looking at it, what do you think the pattern is going to be? I mean, I can't see anything. Maybe you can. Maybe you can look at it and see what it might be. But I'm not good at visualizing stuff like that. That's why I have my calculator do the work for me. Let it help me out. So I got all my values put in, and it always is good to double check to make sure you didn't fat thumb something when you're typing it in, because sometimes you can. The calculator is going to do whatever you tell it to, so it never hurts to double check. Go to zoom, and I'm going to go to zoom stat, and I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to look at, well, I don't really see a pattern. It's not a line, there's no real curve, the numbers are, or the squares are a little bit all over the place. So I would say this has like really no discernible pattern. If there is a pattern, I can't see it. It seems like it's just kind of all over the place. So we can see from the first one here, we had a straight line pattern. For the second one, we had kind of like a parabolic curve, a parabola-like curve. And for the third one here, we didn't have much of a pattern. Everything seems to be random. So that's how you would put the numbers in, look up a scatter plot on your calculator so you can see, maybe it can help you with whatever you're working on to see if there's a pattern or not. But that's how you would do it.